Hello, everybody. It's me again. I'm over at a friend's house,
What up?
and my friend Lizzie is going to help me commentate on Gargoyles Episode 2, Awakening Part 2.
I didn't watch the series longer than you have.
Will you finish the entire series?
3 fucking times!
3 times?
3 times!
That's the sign of a true Gargoyles fangirl right there.
Someone's really bored.
Yeah. So once again, it was a really good episode. Episode 1 kind of established the tone of, like, what the series is. I think this episode really kind of establishes, like, for the most part, where the series is kind of going now. Or where it was going at the time. Going now, I'll keep using that. So basically what happens is, when Goliath and Hudson come back to the castle after the captain of the guards and the Viking douche like raided it and took all the peoples and kidnapped the princess and the Magus. And he and Lexington Brooklyn, Bronx, the Gargoyle Dog, and Broadway, the big fat one, are like the only gargoyles left, apparently. And so he's like, we're going after them, we're going to save the humans, and I'm going to get my fucking revenge. So they take off, and it's really funny. Like, I know, okay, well, like the part where like the Viking douche and the captain of the guard like talking with like about like auctioning off basically the princess and the Magus, because he's like the Magus will fetch like a decent price, really. I'm like, no, he won't. Like, would you pay very much money for a wizard who needs an entire book to do any magic? Like, at all? Lizzie?
If he memorized his spells, sure, why not? The fact that he didn't memorize his spells, okay. It kind of makes you a lame wizard.
Yeah. And then, like, it's really funny because the Viking douche is all like, book of spells, makes me glad I can't read. I'm all like, wow, that's kind of sad that you're glad that you can't read. But so then the gargoyles come, and what happened in this scene is actually kind of the previous scene is actually kind of important because the Viking douche takes one of the spells out of the Magus' book and burns it in the fire, and it becomes important later on because in his grief, because like the Viking douche and the captain of the guard take the Princess Catherine, that's her actual name, and they're like, we're gonna kill you now since the gargoyles are here.
Catherine got kidnapped.
God.
Cat got kidnapped!
No, one of our friends is Catherine, named Catherine, so it kind of fits, yeah.
Imagine her getting kidnapped.
Yeah, so they're all like, we have to kill her now. So they run off to a cliff, and Goliath corners them, and they both fall off, but he saves the princess, and he's like, I've been denied everything, even my revenge!
Even my revenge!
And back over with, like, the other gargoyles and the Magus, he's all like, you fools! They would have ransomed us both off if you hadn't come! So I'm gonna be a total prick, and I'm gonna cast a spell on y'all. And so when Goliath comes back with the princess and everything, he finds his friends have all been turned to stone at night, which they're not supposed to be. And the Magus is like, now I'm gonna do the same to you, bitch, because the princess is dead, and I'm grieving in my love-sick bullshit, whatnot. And then it turns out, oh, Princess is alive, so Magus done fucked up. And I really hate the Magus character. Like, I really hate him a lot. I'm not quite sure why I hate him. Because he seems like an okay character in like the later episodes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like in later episodes, he's freaking helping them
Yeah.
save everything.
But, you know, just for now, he just seems so utterly. I mean, like, basically, the Magus is what happens when you give, like, your court jest or your court parlor trick magician, like, the ultimate book of magic.
Yeah.
He's kind of fucked without it. And, you know, he's all like, he's obviously he's in love with the princess. So, that's kind of okay in and of itself. And so, he's kind of right to be angry at the gargoyles. You know, he thinks that it's because of them the princess is dead. I really just hate the character so much. Like, and then there's the spells. Okay, so the stone spell that he casts on the gargoyles is set to break when the castle rises above the clouds. Who the fuck came up with these spell conditions? I swear to God, they make no sense. Unless there are like a couple ways this actually makes sense. Okay, so one, the person who writes these spells is actively looking into the future. And like, okay, so I need like a countermeasure for this spell. I need to like crystal gaze here. Oh, castle rises above the clouds. Okay, that'll be the spell break condition or whatever. That or the spells need a very improbable, very unlikely cause to break, and so that makes them a lot stronger to do that. Castle rising above the clouds, like
In that time period.
yeah, this large ass castle. Magic. Granted, we have magic in the setting. This is a magic fantasy setting. So anything is possible for the most part.
Yeah. But true, with a big ass castle, as you said,
Yeah.
I can only see maybe the most powerful wizards, a group of them, like a dozen of them, working together to actually lift a castle of that, or the gods themselves
Yeah.
could lift the
Yeah.
castle.
And even then, like even if they were just regular wizards, I doubt they could lift the castle like higher than your apartment complex.
Yeah, true. My apartment's pretty cool.
At max,
Max.
So it just
Maybe get like the top, like the tallest tower into the clouds.
yeah, but it just really astounds me why these spells are written the way they are. They're also in Latin too, but everyone loves
Latin is awesome.
everyone loves
You
Latin.
gotta work with Latin.
So the Gargoyles are left to sit there for 1,000 years. In comes one of the best characters in the series, and probably the best villain character ever devised, David fucking Thanatos. And yes, we now have a David and a Goliath. Make of that what you will. We also have the first utterance.
Seems to be reversed.
Yeah, we also have the first utterance of the word hell in a Disney production since Sleeping Beauty, which was in. Let me check.
Work faster, my boy.
You know what? Shut up. Sleeping Beauty came out in 1959. 1959. That is, and this was what, the 1990s. So almost 30 years. Yeah, about 30 so years. Maybe.
Which Disney thing before the Gargoyles?
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah.
I have to watch that again.
Yeah, when Maleficent's all like, now you shall face me upwards to me, and all the powers of hell pushes like dragons up, and ultimately seals with him because turning into anything that's giant with scales is a bad idea. Jafar, we're looking at you too.
Oh, Jafar.
But anyway, so David Xanatos is apparently rich enough to buy this entire castle and have it moved brick by brick to his enormous skyscraper in Manhattan, New York. That has to be what, over like $1 million? Even Owen, his butler's like, the cost of this will be astronomical. And even Xanatos was like, that's not okay in my dictionary. Shit.
This discussion about money has brought up a little fact. Scrooge McDuck
Yes.
jumps into a pile of money, gold coins. He says he'd do it. I say he killed himself. Come on, really? Who would do that? It would kill you.
Hey, if Scrooge McDuck can swim through a pile of money, I can swim through a pile of money, okay?
Scrooge McDuck is a cartoon.
So?
Just say. How many people believe he would kill himself if he did that?
That is not important right now.
Yeah.
The point is that we don't actually know how rich Xanatos is. He seems to be in, like, the super billionaire ballpark of, like, Scrooge McDuck, Tony Stark, Bruce Wayne, characters like that. But we're not quite sure who's richer. I'd assume Xanatos is richer, since you've never seen Batman get a castle brick by brick from, what, Scotland to New York?
Yeah.
That's over, like, 1,000 miles.
Something like that.
So, because Xanatos has apparently read the Magus' spellbook that has this entire story detailed in it, he's like, I'm gonna break this fucking curse. And he does. And there's an invasion at his castle. I call it invasion with a finger quotes because it's basically like, it's an invasion, but it's kind of not.
True.
Because they're not like invading to take it over, they're just invading to rob it.
Yeah.
So.
A burglary.
Yes, it's a high-tech burglary.
Yeah. There you go.
A high-tech burglary takes place. And so the Gargoyles prove how badass they are, that they can withstand bullets, and grenades, and lasers. Not head on exactly, but you know, they managed to dodge and evade most of them.
They're literally creatures of stone.
Yeah, well, even stones grew up in that my ways.
True.
And bullets, and a grenade.
Yeah. They're creatures of magical stone. Got you there.
No, because if it were magic stone, it wouldn't be able to be broken by a mace. I still need to figure out what the fuck that. Oh, we'll figure out what the. I think they explain about that why they threw the stone in a later episode. You've seen the whole series, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's
Don't spoil it.
I'm trying to remember which one it is.
Don't spoil it because we'll get to that.
Not what season it is.
It's probably the third. No, not the third season. That's the last one.
No.
It's probably the second season. The second season was the longest season out of all the series. Sorry, I'm on the one I. Yeah.
Take a breath.
But so. There's a lot to like about this episode because it ends with basically Goliath, kind of I need to we're never going to trust humans again after what happened, which is understandable. They were betrayed by.
If I got betrayed, I mean, dude, if you betrayed me and you're like, hey, your great grandson, hey, yeah, I'm related to the guy who betrayed you. I'm never going to trust you.
Yeah. But so. Xanatos kind of has to he's on this thing where he's I have to work hard to win your trust and everything. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes in future episodes. I mean, we all know what's going to happen, but those of you who knew the series don't know. We're not going to spoil it. Although I might have already spoiled it when I did it.
What is about that?
Never mind. Oh, whatever.
Hubba.
Anyways, what do you really like about this episode? Just in general, because there's a lot to like. And
there is a lot to like about this episode.
What do you think sets it apart from just the first episode? Just because the first episode it kind of establishes the mood, the tone of the series.
Well, the thing about the first episode, it's the first episode sort of awakens you to the Gargoyles. It introduces you to the Gargoyles.
It's called Awakening. So.
Ow! Attacked by a laser. We're counteracting me. Whatever. But anyway, see, the first episode awakens you, using the title, to the Gargoyles. Tells you about them and everything. He's oh, here's the Gargoyles. This is the world they came from. Da 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 da. The second one brings into the fact, okay, well now they gotta relive in this new world. Here are some key points. They introduce you to Elisa. You just see, although a little short thing of her, but you see her. It's oh, she's most likely gonna be an important character later on. You meet Xanatos. Oh, he's definitely going to be an important character later on. You would be gay for him.
Probably not to that extent, but Xanatos is badass enough to where I'd consider it, yes. Xanatos is fucking awesome. There's a reason why he has an entire section on TV tropes known as the Xanatos Roulette. Google it, if you must. Spoilers, though.
Yeah. So yeah. You start to meet more characters, but you start to see, okay, this is going to be a broader thing than just, looks like Gargoyles defending people and all that. And so
it goes from being basically Batman with giant gargoyles to something more. Basically.
Yeah.
Which not just Batman, because the Batman animated series was a great series. Basically, the tone of Batman the animated series is very similar to Gargoyles.
Yeah.
You've seen it.
I freaking recorded it.
Yeah, the nostalgic critic said it best. It's Disney's answer to Batman, basically. Bless you.
Thank you.
What I really like about this episode is the fact that it's not afraid. The series in general isn't afraid to off people at any given moment.
No, it's not. I mean, freaking out. You see two of the first bad guys, you think, oh, Gargoyles are going to have a constant head-to-head battle with these guys, and all of a sudden they're already dead.
Yeah.
It's okay, so who's next?
Yeah. And also, what I also really like about this episode is that, unlike other characters, when they do the whole revenge plot, the Gargoyles don't get stuck on revenge for the entirety of the series.
No, I mean,
or just within the episodes. Goliath realizes that I can't have my revenge. But I have what I have, so I need to just move on from that.
Yeah.
Well, not move on completely, but because he's still carrying a grudge against humanity. But move on from this point in life where it's like he's to contrast, it's not like Sasuke in Naruto where revenge is like the driving force of his character and what motivates him to do anything. You know?
Goliath is pretty much the anti-Sasuke. I mean,
He
in
used-
later
he used
in later
anime
episodes, in later episodes, even all the other Gargoyles, they even start to fall in like, oh, this person betrayed me. I want to get revenge on them.
Yeah.
And stuff. They start to follow the same truth, but then they realize, Then they start to realize, maybe not a big idea. So it's like, it's sort of teaching you revenge isn't everything.
Yeah.
And stuff, which is a good thing.
We'll get back on the revenge kick in a few episodes, but not right now. Another thing I like about this episode is, I like the fish out of water aspect of the Gargoyles. And if you don't know what the fish out of water aspect of it is, it's basically you take something from a different world and put it into a new world. Basically, you take the Gargoyles from 994 Scotland to 1994 Scotland, New York. And they're you can obviously see that they're going to have to adjust this world because when the guys that are attacking Xanatos' new castle, because it is now Xanatos' castle.
He bought it.
Yeah,
he
up here, the Gargoyles are like, oh my god, it's sorcery. Oh my god, they got carried off on a giant dragon. And the only one who actually realizes it's not a dragon is Lexington. He's like, no, it's a machine of some sort.
Well, Lexington, that's the one thing I like about Lexington's character. He's always like that smart one. He's like literally he was literally someone from the future put into the body of the past and stuff. He's like, okay, this doesn't seem right, but I don't think it's sorcery. I think it's something else, something man-made and stuff, which is all really cool about Lexington.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not really my favorite character, but he was one of my favorite characters.
He's the token gay character.
Yeah, true. Well, the token person who acts gay.
No, Greg Weisman, the creator of Gargoyles, has stated that Lexington, if they could have, he would have been gay.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
But
I wish they would have done that.
It's Disney. What else do I like about this episode? I like the tragedy in this episode. I like the fact that that's the other thing I like. One of the things I like in the first episode that I didn't really comment on was that when the Viking is going to destroy one of the Gargoyles, and it's basically just a stone statue, the camera cuts away from it. It shows just his shadow as he's swinging his mace on it, and
you just hear the noise of stone.
You never see him. You never see any of these, except once again in a later episode. But we're not touching on that.
Oh yeah, that's true. In the later episodes.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was the best. You're just killing people
Oh my god.
But
I think it was that one that got everyone, especially those radical parents, who was just like, oh my god, you can't show this to children.
Oh god.
Started. Oh god, you just want to slap this.
Well, that was the one where she what's his name? So.
Not true.
True.
Love that the people are just like, what are they talking
Yeah. Although anyone who's who
watching to be like, I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
You slide on
Yeah, but once again, Series isn't afraid to introduce tragedy. I'm not one of the things I really don't like in a lot of media is just the tragic main character thing. Basically that any main character worth anything has to be tragic and brooding and everything. A good example would be Batman. Batman has a very tragic past to him. You kind of have to compare Batman to Gargoyles. Inevitably at some point, which is why I keep on doing it. But Batman has a very tragic.
You're also obsessed with Batman.
I am a proud Bat fan. Okay, I'm not a Batman fan. I'm a Bat fan. Okay.
You're a Bathead.
I'm a Bat fan. What? It doesn't work that way. Okay. I was gonna say a Bat Boy, but I'm like that sounds like a really lame sidekick name.
Well, they did have Batgirl.
Bat Boy to the Batcave. Yeah, that just sounds really stupid. Yeah, like I said,
Batman hanging out with a bunch of little kids.
Okay, everyone's the most commented on that. So why do you need to?
'Cause it's me.
Okay. But yeah, so like I said, Batman's a very tragic character, lost his parents, can't hold down a steady relationship, and is constantly this whole, it's always established that Bruce Wayne is more the mask, and Batman is the man, basically, for the most part.
Batman's a true man.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne is
the mask.
Yeah. in Gargoyles, since we don't have really a secret identity thing, you see the Gargoyles, Goliath being the one most torn up about this because, for all we know, he's lost his entire clan and the love of his life, and now he's pretty much lost 1,000 years, basically. And the other Gargoyles aren't really exempt from this, but Goliath is the one that we spend the most time with anyways from the series. He is the main character. I mean, all the Gargoyles are the main characters, but Goliath is the one most in the forefront of the series. So he is the main character. Yeah. So the series is not afraid to introduce death. It's not afraid to introduce tragedy, and the mood stays very, very, very. What's the word I'm looking for? Like, there's not much of a tonal shift in the series, and the mood is kind of like it doesn't really stay the same. It's just kind of like
it has a subtlety to it.
Well, not.
I mean, like 1 minute you've got like this tragedy, but then they throw a little comedy in there. I mean, like especially when Lexington is in there and they're fighting off the guys, and all of a sudden it's like they're helping up Hudson, and the guy throw a grenade at him, and Lexington grabs it, and it's like, what is this? And then just tosses it over his shoulder. It's like you just grab a grenade and you toss it casually over your shoulder.
Yeah, well,
you're an idiot.
But basically, the tone of the series, like, it doesn't shift radically at all. It just kind of not stays the same, but kind of like stays in a very. The mood kind of stays the similar way throughout the episode's run, which is a good thing, especially for a series like this, because the first episode had a couple of more lighthearted moments. The second episode doesn't really have too many lighthearted moments at all.
It brings you to the fact that everything they knew is gone.
Gone,
And stuff. The second one definitely brings that into effect.
Yeah.
It's like you're no longer everything you knew, everyone you knew is
gone.
And everything.
And you are. It's like Superman. You are the last of your kind. Then with Superman, though, it's like we have Supergirl and Brainiac and all that other Kryptonian shit that I don't really know or care about. But or a better comparison from Justice League, the Martian Manhunter, who was the last Martian left. I keep doing DC references. I don't know why. Probably because I'm waiting for Disney to eventually buy out Warner Brothers and DC, because I know it's going to happen eventually.
I mean, they have Marvel.
Yeah, they have Marvel. What's to stop them from grabbing DC and the Warner Brothers? They'll lose they'll buy out their only other competitor.
Well, I don't think they would ever be able to get Warner Brothers. I mean, that's Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers owns DC though. So, and DC is one of Warner Brothers' biggest cash cows. I'd say that kind of rolling my eyes because we don't really do a lot of worthwhile. Well, not lately.
The whole Young Justice thing.
Yeah, the Young Justice thing. Also made by Greg Weisman. Well, not made by Greg Weisman, but written, a lot of the writing for it was done by Greg Weisman, who did all of Gargoyles. And the Spectacular Spider-Man. Disney just seems to hate Greg Weisman a lot, because all of his shit just keeps getting canned. Gargoyles was the longest running thing Greg Weisman ever produced for Disney, and then they're all like, can it? And then there was Spectacular Spider-Man, can it? And now he's on Young Justice, and it's been canned, But yeah, it touches. It's like that whole, you're the last.
On Cartoon Network.
Huh?
That part was Cartoon Network.
Whatever, but Greg Weisman seems to have bad luck with this too. So. Loyal fan followings, yes.
My alarm is annoying the hell out of me now.
Shut up. You can barely hear it over me talking. Shut up. But like I said, it's the whole last of your kind thing that not a lot of media really goes into, but you see it enough for it, to be a relatively common thing. And I really like that factor in it, because it's all how are you going to get over being the last Gargoyles on Earth that you know of, and what's more, how are you going to adjust to this new world that you're living in?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there? Because we're going on 25 minutes here, and I kind of want to wrap it up, but I think there's still a bit more to talk about. One thing I did want to mention from the first episode is that there is a biblical reference to the story of David and Goliath, which I wanted to mention because Disney doesn't do a lot of biblical things at all. Like I said, this is the first time that we've had the mention of the word hell since Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty all the way back in the 1950s. That's two biblical references for Disney in one series within 2 episodes of each other.
Yeah, I mean, like the first one, they said, oh, Goliath, named him after the balloon.
Yeah.
Giant.
And then, of course, Princess Catherine has to be able to you do well to remember that the biblical Goliath was also a bully and a savage.
Same can be said about you! Ah!
Yeah.
I mean, you're technically bullying the Gargoyles.
Mm-hmm.
Looking down on them like they're monsters and just guard dogs.
I do like, that's another thing I like, is how Princess Catherine and the Magus, as much as I hate the character, both come to realize how fucked up the situation is, and they're all like...
Which, they come to it, like, really quick. It's like, oh, the Gargoyles are these evil creatures, and so we'll let them protect us.
Unnatural
creatures
coming from the Magus.
It's like, dude,
You're a wizard! You have no
on.
right to be speaking about unnaturality. Yeah, but I do like that about both Princess Catherine and the Magus.
So they kind of come to the conclusion real quick. It's like 1 minute they're like, those are unnatural creatures, and all of a sudden, oh shit, we need them. They're really good.
I like it when, like, they hear the Gargoyles, and she's all like, you're a dead man.
I know! That was amazing.
She's all like, you're fucked, dude. Like, don't even try. They're gonna kill you. But, so, I did also like that aspect of it.
I mean, if I was a Vikings man, and I was like, oh shit, there are Gargoyles coming here. Didn't our leader just kill a whole bunch of them? Huh, let's ditch him?
Not the ones that matter.
Yeah, it's like, huh, wait, our leader just killed Gargoyles. Here comes Gargoyles coming at us. I think we should run.
Mm-hmm.
I would have ditched my leader right then and there. Be like, dude, this is your fight. I'm not staying around.
Yeah. I want to soften up a bit. These little licorice things are hard as hell to eat. Like, they're old and, like, super hard, so maybe, like, liquefying them and, like, soften them up.
Oh, that was funny. Maybe, bubbles!
Bubbles. All the Disney references.
You can get.
Yeah, is there really anything else about this episode that was, like, stood out, really? I think just Xanatos in and of himself is a really standout character. Like,
he stands out in everything.
Yeah, Xanatos has, like...
You can find ways to link him to other Disney series.
Yeah.
I mean, Kingdom Hearts, I really wish they would have gone to the Gargoyles. I mean, that would have been cool to fight along with the Gargoyles.
Fanfic, Lizzie. We'll write a fanfic.
You know, I just realized I wrote only one fanfic now my whole life, and it was for Spiral the Dragon video game. And it was for an English assignment.
That's totally off
topic,
but, you know.
You said fanfic, and that came into my head.
Okay. Yeah, we'll fanfic it, Lizzie. You know, we can do it.
We can totally.
We can totally do it. Yeah, like, Xanatos just has, like, this amazing presence to him that's just, like, you're not quite sure who and what he is, but you can already tell he's not one to be fucked with.
Like, part of you wants to believe he's a really good guy, but the other part's like, maybe he's a bad guy, he's just manipulating everything.
Why does it spoil everything, Lizzie?
Now they know. You just shut up.
Well, you know what? No, if you hadn't said, maybe he's manipulating everyone.
Well, you can already start telling the second one.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, look at him. He had the money to bring a freaking thing. You're like,
and, you know, out of just boredom, like, who the fuck does that?
If I had that much cash, probably I would.
You know what? That's true. I probably would too. But, I think we're gonna end it off here, and we might do the 3rd episode today.
Hey.
You know, we have time.
Yeah, we have time.
So
I can find that one movie I've been looking for.
Yeah. So, we will see y'all in, like, half an hour. Okay? Perhaps. See you later.
Peace.